Hello, hello everyone. How are you? Hope you're having a good second day of the conference so far. We have, how much time do we have? 20 minutes for an IMA together. Happy to answer any questions, so don't be shy. Feel free to throw away any question you have, whether it's about Sandbox, Web3 in general, your journey in the space, conference. All right? Okay, all right, first question, great question. I'm the co-founder and the CEO at the Sandbox, which is a decentralized virtual world that uses blockchain and NFTs. I'm also the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance, which is an association that counts now over 500 members and that promotes adoption of blockchain technology in the video game industry. And you can have a chance to learn more about both, as we have like a booth here on the trade show, where you can see like projects that are using blockchain technology, for example, in the case of the BGA, and creators on the Sandbox Creator Street. Sure. So Sandbox, as I mentioned, is like a decentralized virtual world. We really had that idea like from the very beginning that we wanted to empower anyone to become a creator through technology. So that journey started in 2011 as a mobile game. I remember like I was very excited by the launch of smartphone, the iPhone and Google Android phones, because I saw in that the opportunity for like ability to our making new games and new form of entertainment that use that touchscreen, accelerometer, and those new technologies. We then found that we could then enable people to make their own games just by the touch of the screen. That was like kind of magic as a feeling by then. Like it's almost like taking shoot, I forgot in English, un crayon, pencil, thank you. Take a pencil and draw on a piece of paper. Here, just with your finger, your ideas come to life on the screen. And you can share that in a gallery with other users, like really very user-generated content. Fast forward, like that game had a lot of success on mobile, 40 million install, 70 million creation made by users. That's a huge number. And that led to us being acquired by another company called Animoca Brands, and also like fall into blockchain and NFTs, because also like even though we had this big metric, we kind of struggled to keep our creator engaged over the years on this game. Like somehow like social fame, social recognition wasn't sufficient. They needed another form of recognition, a form of like payments, salaries, or like just having a portion of the value that they contributed on that platform. When we found about blockchain and NFT with CryptoKitties actually and Bitcoin, we were very inspired actually, not by like the fact that there was like virtual cats that you could trade with other users. That was a fancy use case, but the idea is that anyone could make those cats. And how do we enable anyone to make those virtual cats as NFT that then people could buy from each other and buy not just in the game, but also outside of the game on marketplaces. And that led us to think like we have to start Sandbox again from the ground up. This time using that technology, blockchain and NFTs, make it 3D, make it multiplayer. A lot of things that we missed back on the mobile, and while Minecraft and Roblox were really growing, we felt like we were missing that multiplayer and social component. And it's been already 5 years, almost 6, that we've been rebuilding Sandbox as this 3D multiplayer platform. We've launched several tools, a 3D editor called VoxEdit, a game maker, a marketplace, a map, a game client, and all the contract on the blockchain. And along that journey, I think like we've learned a lot. We also like learned how important, again, creators were at the core of that project, how important the ecosystem was, and we were not a game, we were really a platform That's a big difference, actually. And that our mission was not only to empower and inspire those creators, but really to trigger more opportunities thanks to blockchain and NFTs for them to become successful. So giving them the tools, giving them the mechanics, inspiring them to hopefully find their way to monetize, their way to build their own community and engage through that community. And then we also discover about the network effect that Web3 brings by being open, by collaborating with as many projects as we could, including what people used to think were our competitors, like the Decentraland, Upland, Somnium Space, Voxel, etc. By acquiring many NFTs ourselves, becoming a real, not just a project or a platform, but like ourselves being an actor in this ecosystem and other projects, a community member, owning those NFTs, we had our voice, and we had our capacity to increase the utility of those assets and strengthen the network effect I was mentioned. That is at one of the core pillars in Web3. And so far, I think like we really enjoy, as part of that journey, the fact that we are a platform that is trying to add value to any Web3 community that is creative, that is accessible thanks to its creation tool, and that is spawning an ecosystem that we try to grow globally so that we can build a virtual world that I would say is hopefully more inclusive, more diverse, and has more representation of like various cultures of the world, more minorities, more inclusivity and diversities as well. I would say it's still very early on that mission, even though we can say we have achieved a certain level of success. I still feel like we have so much more to achieve in terms of product, of course, but in terms of content. And that's why one of our key milestones this year for the whole company is what we call the opening of Sandbox, so that any of the landowners who are core community members supporting Sandbox, there's more than 23,500, will be able to open their experience all by themselves directly in Sandbox, starting to bring more content, more users, and change, again, like what we've been doing to hopefully grow it and scale it even more. Thank you. So, well, thank you. Now we are counting on you to be part of that journey and hopefully like bring Sandbox as a platform to the next phase and keep growing together. Questions? Oh, many questions now. Ladies first. Bonjour.
Oh my God. Oh, okay, it's working. Oh my God. I'm a builder. Nice to meet you. I'm Valentina. I have a question. First of all, Apple recently presented an Apple Vision, VR Vision Pro. So probably we are at the beginning of a virtual reality era, probably. Will the Sandbox be interested to virtual reality in the future? VR technology, I mean.
So a short answer is yes, because I'm a geek, I'm an early adopter, so every device that goes out, I will buy it on the first day to get inspired by it. And long term, like, we've been quite underwhelmed in general by everything that touch VR, like the quality of the headset, the quality of the experience, the motion sickness, all of that we felt like was not really like adding value toward like being in the metaverse by ourselves. But with Vision Pro, and so far all I've seen is just Apple marketing, so I still need to get a product, inspires us a lot because of the quality of the resolution of the screen, the quality of like the technology inside. With 12 cameras, with more than 8K screen video, I feel like all our digital content can feel as real as if we were seeing them around us in physical world. And so we can have new interaction with our digital asset, new interaction with other users and their avatars. And This is more like they call it themselves mixed reality, because like I believe the screen is still translucent and you still interact with the physical world. But seeing your digital assets as part of your physical world, not just somewhere on the screen, hidden in a folder or in a game that you launch and close, has the potential to bridge better the content and make, it's always surrounding you, it becomes almost part of like your environment, it becomes culture, it's more tangible, and hence it can enhance our interaction between each other on a social level, and it can enhance our desire to own, use, and flex, maybe sell, buy those digital assets. So ultimately, this is aligned with the mission of Web3 and what the metaverse is aiming to do, bridging our digital identity across many virtual worlds and platforms, and potentially virtuality and physical world. So about Sandbox straight in it, well, first let them ship the device next year. Second, let that device reach millions of people. It's still a $3,500 US, so it's high end. I think it's the first phase of, again, like experimentation, creation. Like quick poll, like how many of you in the room are ready to buy it on the first day to try experimenting? Well, already. So you see, like, new ideas will come. And then what you do and show will inspire a second wave and a third wave. And maybe within 3 to 5 years, that will become more mature and a moment where Sandbox can definitely be in it. Here and there.
Oh, thanks. Lots of projects have gone through a hard time during the winter. So how was it felt from the Sandbox view? Because as a landowner, I saw many new brands coming into the space. We saw few users, but as you talk on the opening discussion, there is more engagement. So can you talk a bit more about that, please?
So there's many levels of seeing it. So at our level as Sandbox, as a platform, I don't see any slowdown. Like every week we have a new partnership to announce, a new big brand. Like last week was BBC, the week before Cipriani, The Little Prince entered Sandbox, etc. So always great content, global or regional, that's ready to open itself to creator so they can be inspired and explore and build. From an ecosystem perspective, I think it's reached a phase where like the industry is more mature. They are not just jumping into Web3 for the announcement side, but they want, when they do, they have a strategy, they are meaningful, and so they will be selecting builders, agencies, creators, with as well a higher level of expectation and demand on like what they can do together. So like in any major market, the agencies, the builder have to fight for their client. They cannot just wait for the client to come just and be feeded with an open mouth with unlimited access to revenue and so more. I think it's just part of natural of that journey, and the studios and agencies that understand that there is both a creative, a technological, and a commercial effort to better sell themselves, what makes them special, how they are creative, what's their differentiator. Is there like an industry that they specialize? Is it fashion that they are better at? Sport, music is also a way for them to identify which collaboration or project or client and brand they want to work. But we are here to open the market, bringing more brands in more regions of the world so that hopefully there's still food for more of the agencies. And there's been 230 agencies already since beginning of 2022, and I'm confident that we'll keep growing. She's good.
I think she left. So I like the Sandbox because it attracts many different players, not only from Web 2, but in the normal, I would say normal economy. brand names that we all know and love. My question to you would be, would the Sandbox be ready to leave Web3 and come towards the rest of the world? For me, I think the Sandbox has the potential to be one of the most well-known, could be one of the faces, the nice faces of crypto, of Web3, to the rest of the world. You had asked what you can do to build trust, sorry, to the metaverse, to Web3. I think, what are the properties, what are the assets, what are the communities that we know of? Coinbase, Binance, okay, that's for traders, that's not for your kids, that's not for your parents. We have exclusive communities. What else do we have with the potential to be a well-known brand? So my question would be, instead of having all the brands come to you, would it be possible to step out of Web3, make it more world-friendly, I don't know, to real life?
All right. I think like we look at this question from two angles. First, like, would us as a platform step out of Web3? The answer is definitely never. Like, no, we're here in this mission. We believe from the beginning, that's from our white paper, and you probably heard me say thousands of times about true digital ownership, empowering creator. We don't want to go back to the old system. I've been trying to evangelize governments, public institutions in many countries of the world that this matters for the next generation, to allow Gen Z and any creator to own their digital assets, as just like they can own physical property in most of the democracy, in all the democracies of the world. Now, that still leaves a question like, what is the right approach to bring more users into Web3? Some people believe that Web 2.5 is a mixed answer, an hybrid model where people could maybe be jumping in. I tend to share the opinion of Yatsu when you say, Yatsu is the CEO of Animoca Brands, our parent company. Are you more 2.3 or 2.7 when you're 2.5? Like where your position exactly? And joke apart, all the metrics we've seen is leading to what, like, well, people are still storing in a centralized manner their assets. They don't create a wallet. So it's not really driving more users, even it sounded like so. Our role is to be like a great use case, a fun use case, something that would make people want to enter a virtual space, connect, find friends, and understand the importance of owning their digital assets. And yes, there is still a step up at the moment, but I feel like that will get reduced over time, over generations that are digitally native, and it will become normal, maybe in 10 years. In the meantime, bringing brands that are culturally relevant in entertainment, in sport, in gaming, in fashion, brands in some region of the world, when we have major Korean brands like SM Entertainment, CJ Entertainment, maybe here in Lisbon or with our Western culture, we are not familiar, but there, and there's over 1 billion of people living in that part of the world, they are very relevant. They are bigger brands, the Warner Music or Sony Music, for example, for that part of the population. And so maybe the revolution will come more, the adoption will start in Asia, will continue in Europe, and will hopefully come from the North America side. Yes.
Hello. So with the future of this year into next year, what would be one of the features or things about the Sandbox you're most excited for? And you can't say self-publishing.
Publishing. All right, two things. I'm very excited for the thousands of new creators that will launch something and we don't know yet about. Every day, every morning is always a great surprise to discover how we inspire other people. And then the product side. I feel like the metaverse is both like social and a technological disruption, but we need to keep working hard on a product that will allow people to make new fun stuff. So we are aware that currently you can only do a certain number of limited action in Sandbox. That's internally we call it Game Maker 7. We already released earlier this year Game Maker 8. What it adds is a lot more social interaction, visual effect, and every day I meet some of the creators who are showcasing their work at the Sandbox Street. You can see the difference, and it adds audio, video streaming. Game Maker 9 is already under the work, 0.9, and it adds a lot more like gameplay-related features. So we can compete against each other, we can play against each other, all together as teams, and we can define our own rules of gameplay. That, I think, will be a big step up, and I will engage more and more people into like this experience, the brand, the content, and hopefully be a big something that I'm very looking forward to. Yeah. Yes.
Hello, I have two questions. You just mentioned that as a land holder, we can host an experience, and I have just created a game on the Sandbox with Game Maker. I would like to know when I will be able to host it on my land. Like, I have heard about Q3, and I would like to know if you have like a date fixed or isn't it fixed yet. And also about the streaming of music. On the platform when we have an experience like a social hub. I would like to know if one day it will be possible to stream like a music on our land, you know, when you have a social hub. Thank you.
Yes, that day is today, actually, almost. So you can already stream audio and video with that new version of GameMaker 08. And publishing or self-publishing officially will go live publicly by end of Q3, we hope end of September. But we already have whitelisted 100 of the most active creative studios that are certified and have already created experiences. So by end of June, they will start launching first content. So it will be a progressive rollout. And we have some of our team members as well. You can recognize them with their nice Sandbox t-shirt, which right in front of you, where you can get in touch with, so we can work on this together.
What about the DAO from the Sandbox avatar? Like I'm a holder of the doggies and was expecting for you know, some information about that. Is it this year or next year? And also for the, do we have some information about the future concerts in Sandbox, like Snoop Dogg concert and things like that?
The DAO is a project ongoing. We're really thinking through still, like some of the ways to make meaningful, or people who are contributing in a meaningful manner to vote. So far, we feel like the core community at the heart of Sandbox are the landowners. So we'll considering like how landowners, more than sandholders, will be the one that who have the most voting power over decision. Avatar holders, I think they are normally more on the player side. They have a voice, it's important, but I think it's a bit different necessarily than the creator side. So that's what we're trying to figure out. And yes, we'd like to set up the DAO as soon as possible to decentralize a certain number of decisions, such as who gets or receive grants for projects. That should be decided more by the community than just our teams, or how the rewards will be distributed, for example. Snoop Dogg concert. You know, like when you have the chance to work with someone like Snoop Dogg, and I only met him once, and he's launching his first concert in the metaverse, you want to make sure that what you launch is going to be wow. Because if not, like you don't get a second chance. And so far, I feel like we still need to work on the product and improve so we can stage something that's really wow and that millions of people will talk about for a long time, hopefully. Who's using Sandbox already in the room? Oh, wow, great. So next year, until the back, everyone. Who owns the land? Fantastic. I can see here, like, they are the pioneers, the builders, the experts. Who owns an avatar? More. Great. A great mix here. Fantastic. Who is interested to enter the metaverse? Oh, the younger one here. Fantastic. Good answer. All right. More questions? Yes.
How are you doing?
Do I look okay? Okay. Well, I'm good, yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right, it's a wrap. Thank you very much. Thank you.